All right, welcome to Hannity. We begin tonight with many Fox News alerts. Buckle up. An unbelievable day. A lot of news to cover tonight. So many breaking stories. We'll get it all in, including details from the FISA abuse report. We had a train wreck press conference from Nancy Pelosi that left her seething with rage. We've got that tape. Also, more fallout from yesterday's disaster and kangaroo court for the Democrats and Nutty Nadler. But first, with the 2020 election in only 334 days, you have the power. I do have hope. I do have optimism, because the radical far-left Socialist Democratic Party is now in shambles tonight from top to bottom. That because it's filled with so-called elites who are totally detached from reality. But they think they're better. They're smarter. They're more capable than all of us. Well, as Peter Strzok said, we smelly Trump Walmart shopper voters. Obama said, remember, we're bitter. We cling to our God. Yeah, we do. We believe in the Second Amendment. True. Our Bible. Absolutely. And our religion. Hillary Clinton called us irredeemable deplorables. Well, Nutty Nadler hauled in 3 ivory tower radical anti-Trump, as far left as you can go, college professors to educate we, the uninformed masses, on the virtues of impeachment. Even one professor that wanted Trump impeached for tweeting the words fake news. And today, during this disastrous town hall, wow, couldn't believe this. A very agitated Joe 30330 lost it. He went off on an 83-year-old voter, an unhinged rant. He called the guy fat and then denied it, claimed that he's a damn liar, belittled this guy, suggesting that the man had a low IQ, and then he challenged him to a push-up contest and competition. So why did Joe snap? Because this voter dared to politely ask a question about zero experience Hunter, the millions of dollars he's making sitting on a board of the corrupt Ukrainian oil and gas giant Burisma Holdings, all while his father, then the vice president of the United States, served as the Obama administration's point person on all things Ukraine. You have to watch, as you watch Biden viciously attack this voter for asking, well, what the media mob should be asking, a very important question.
So that's your son over there. He had a job and worked for a gas company that he had no experience with gas or nothing. You're selling access to the president just like he was. So
You're a damn liar, man. That's not true. And no one has ever said that. No one has heard that.
I see it on the TV.
You see it on the TV. No, I know you do. And by the way, that's why I'm not sedentary. I get up and no, let him go. Let him go. Look, the reason I'm running is because I've been around a long time and I know more than most people know. And I can get things done. That's why I'm running. And you want to check my shape on, let's do push-ups together here, man. Let's run. Let's do whatever you want to do. Let's take it on people. No one has said my son has done anything wrong, and I did not on any occasion. And no one has ever said it. Not
I didn't say you were doing anything wrong.
You said I set up my son to work in an oil company. Isn't that what you said? Get your words straight, Jack.
That's what I hear on MSNBC.
You don't hear that in MSNBC. But look, here's the deal. Here's the deal.
It looks like you don't have any more backbone than Trump does.
Let him talk.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I'm not voting for you.
Well, I knew you weren't, man. You think I thought you'd stand up and vote for me? You're too old to vote for me.
Yeah, man. You want to have a push-up contest, Jack? Okay. How's he even a candidate? Voters be warned. You ask Joe 30330 about his very real Ukraine scandal, he might challenge you to a duel or maybe a push-up contest and call you fat, insult your intelligence, fly off the handle and lose it. But he definitely won't answer your question. And if the corrupt media mob ever gets their way, he'll never have to answer for his very real abuse of power. We all know the evidence is there. Creepy, crazy Uncle Joe was right about one thing. You're not going to hear about this on MSDNC or fake news CNN or anywhere else in the mob media because they are state-run liberal TV. In fact, during a press conference following his meltdown, Biden wasn't once challenged as he continued to trash this poor guy, 83 years old, over and over again. Take a look.
I didn't lose my temper. What I wanted to do is shut this down.
You saw the reaction of all the people here. You saw the response. And so, I mean, it was, what did bother me is he wouldn't give the microphone back, and when they kind of pulled it away. And what I wanted to make clear to him was that, you know, if he gets more out of control, this is not appropriate behavior at all.
Wait a minute. You said, no, let him go. There it is, former vice president calling an 83-year-old guy, stranger, fat, a damn liar, insulting his intelligence. At the same town hall, the same one, Biden said he was in Ohio. He was in Iowa. He also claimed he was the vice president in 1976. You can't make this up. But sure, Joe, that voter, he's the one out of control. This is not a good look for Uncle Joe or the Democratic Party. He's starting to crack. Voters are now understanding the incontrovertible truth, the overwhelming evidence, because in 2014, Vice President Biden was appointed as this country's point person for Ukraine. Short time later, zero-experience Hunter was hired to serve on the board of Burisma Holdings, a corrupt oil and gas giant. He was paid millions and millions of dollars. Zero experience in gas, zero experience in energy, zero experience in Ukraine. He's 0 for 3. Instead of experience, Hunter was peddling access. As it turns out, it was a great investment for Burisma because in 2016, Hunter Biden and his company, they faced a corruption investigation by Ukraine's top prosecutor. Who came to the rescue? Daddy. Joe Biden, the vice president, demanding a prosecutor in Ukraine be fired. Why would that ever happen? Joe Biden actually leveraged and brags about leveraging $1 billion U.S. tax dollars in aid to get a prosecutor in Ukraine fired. Why? Because he was told by the New York Times and others that that prosecutor was investigating his zero-experience son that's being paid millions. Remember, Vice President Biden told the president of Ukraine, I'm getting on a plane in 6 hours. You're not getting the $1 billion. You're not going to get it. You have 6 hours. Fire the prosecutor, I'll give you the $1 billion. Son of a bee. They fired the prosecutor, and, well, Hunter's in the clear. That is a quid and a pro and a quo by Joe. Could you imagine the reaction if this was Don Jr., Eric Trump, or 13-year-old Barron Trump, a teenager? That's how low the Democrats have sunk. They go after a teenager. That's how repulsive they now are. Imagine if it was Trump bragging, well, you're not getting it unless you fire the prosecutor. That was Don Jr., zero experience, being paid millions. Don would be in jail today. Let's be honest about this. And the mob and the media has no credibility ever. This is, you got to take this in, breathtaking hypocrisy and corruption. The mob media, that is state-run Democratic TV. And now breaking this week, a judge has ruled Hunter Biden, he's going to have to turn over his financial files. So soon, we might know exactly how much he actually made from Burisma. And, oh, yeah, what about how much was in the I never got a penny from China? How much equity did he get in that deal with the Bank of China? That his lawyers said, well, he hasn't cashed his equity yet. He hasn't technically gotten a penny yet. And get this, if Democrats are actually able to pass impeachment in the House, the Bidens will likely now be called to testify during the Republican-controlled Senate trial. This is going to be must-see TV. But Joe, 30330, is telling reporters he's not going to appear voluntarily. That's because quid pro quo Joe has a lot to hide. And also breaking tonight, this is a big story in the Wall Street Journal by their editorial board. Schiff's broad definition of bribery would mean that Joe could also easily be impeached. Louis Gohmert, my radio show today, said that would actually be a real insurance policy.